Hi, this is Jennifer with iCadenza, and I'm here with the legendary Connie Stevens,
Hi.
who's participating in this wonderful concert tonight with the Junior Philharmonic. So please tell me how you got involved with this organization and what we can look forward to seeing you do
I've
tonight.
been involved since I was a teenager with Dr. Katz. He asked me to come and, swing the baton, and Gary Green, who is now conducting, was 13 years old in the orchestra. So I believe in what he did and has done. As you can see, there are thousands, and I hope you interview some of the kids that play because they give so much of themselves. I just think they find a way of life. You know.
And how did you get involved with the Junior Philharmonic?
I don't know. Professor Lehman asked me, and it was a long time ago, and I've recurred from time to time. So that brings us here tonight.
You've been involved longer than I think.
I actually have a wonderful man by the name of Dr. Katz, organized many years ago. A wonderful amateur but semi-professional group of youngsters, young people, to play together, and he called it the Junior Philharmonic, the Los Angeles Junior Philharmonic. And it's been over 70 years that this has been going on. I mean, this is a remarkable man, and I think I was first invited to be part of it and do something, and then Dick Van Dyke was. And of course, Dick and I have a history because of the songs that we've written for his starring vehicles, and so we've had a nice run together.
Yeah, but he made my whole career for me.
Well, no, I think the Dick Van Dyke Show did a little bit for him, and Bye Bye Birdie did a little, and I think he did a heck of a lot of other stuff. But we were very proud of the fact that he starred in Mary Poppins and in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
This is my first year being involved. I have done a few things with Dick Van Dyke in the past, and he told me all about this function tonight. I was so happy to be a part of it. And so we're doing a medley from The Music Man, and I'm also doing Feed the Birds from Mary Poppins, of course.
I met Dr. Katz a number of years ago when they used to have an extraordinary event which was called the Battle of the Batons. And for the first time ever, I stood in front of a 125-piece orchestra and conducted. We were given the option of which numbers to conduct, and then we had to attempt to conduct an orchestra. And to the degree that we did a good job, the audience, through their applause, decided who was going to win. And I think, I can't remember, I think it was The Flight of the Bumblebee, and I had my back to the audience, and I sort of used my bumblebee rear end. I think that was as much as I could do, and that, I suppose, got me the baton. So I won the baton, had this glorious experience, and then Dr. Katz, who was the most adorable and generous man, offered the orchestra to me whenever I needed it, if I wanted to raise money for my charity, which is the William Holden Wildlife Foundation. And indeed, we had an event, and when the curtain went up, we had an event which was a musical event, and we had all sorts of well-known artists in the first act. And when the curtain came down, people were heard in the audience to say, well, God, that was a great first act. What can they possibly do for the second act? And when the curtain went up, and there was the Junior Philharmonic Orchestra, and Dr. Katz said to everyone, on your feet, and did the national anthem, people were in shock. They were in absolute shock, and just completely transformed our evening.
I want to know why I'm Dick and he's Richard. Why is that?
I think because of the fact that at one time, years and years ago, Walt said it sounds more dignified.
Richard?
Richard and Robert. My brother Bob and I write together. And Dick and Bob, it sounds like we were writing country western, and we were supposed to be writing, Walt Disney music, a little more dignified. So therefore, we changed it to Richard and Robert.
My father called me Richard, and then only when he was mad.
Now, tonight celebrates the importance of music in the lives of young people, and what are your personal stories and how music touched you as children?
How did music touch you first?
Well, I don't know. My father was a musician, played the clarinet, and I've always loved music. I don't know why. But what's worrying me right now is that so many of the high schools around this big city have closed down their music programs. There are no music programs. We're going to have a population of robots. And I think it's the biggest mistake in the world to start cutting in education, and particularly in the arts. So the junior Philharmonic is kind of something for the other kids to shoot for.
Yes, it is. Certainly is. I think Dick's right. There's a very great need for people to express themselves, and they can express themselves so beautifully in music. And it involves so many players, bandsmen and concert orchestras and everything. It's a vital thing, and I hope that someday that is restored soon to all the public schools.
It's tragic, is what it is.
It truly is. With me, it was strictly my dad. He was a pop songwriter, and he wrote great songs, and it was in the family. And musicians have always been sort of wandering around my family, so it just came. They said, why not? That's what I do.
What role has music played for you in your life?
I loved belting out songs as a child. I've only done one musical in my life, but scared the hell out of me, but I did it often enough, I got used to it.
Now, this concert celebrates the importance of music in the lives of young people, and what's your personal feeling about that?
It is so important for children to have music. I grew up with music, and here I am today, contributing back to the children, and I just think it's so important. I think it teaches children so many different things. It's discipline, it's a love for something, or even if they don't grow up to be musicians, I think it's just such a beautiful thing for them to encounter and to be a part of.
Well, my father was with the big band era, jazz bands, and my mother was a band singer, and music has always been the most important thing. I've been an entertainer for 50 years now, and I have never found anything as fulfilling as my grandchildren and music and my own children. That's it for me.
So, Seth, what was it like performing tonight?
It was really exciting. This is my second year doing this, and I was looking forward to it all year, and it lived up to my expectations.
You have quite a family history with music and this orchestra, so what's that been like for you?
It's really amazing. I mean, basically, we grew up with music, and we know that we're going to have to pick up an instrument. Of course, I picked violin because my father plays the violin. And we're just a musical family. We kind of play together and stick together, and it's really a special thing.
What's it like seeing how this orchestra has touched so many people's lives over just decades?
It's very touching. It's very emotional. I can't believe this is the 73rd anniversary. I've been going to these concerts, literally every rehearsal since I was probably a couple years old. And it's really amazing. And the funny thing is, wherever I am, now I'm living in Sacramento, I run across alumni that have played in this orchestra. I mean, all the time. I mean, it's just so many people have been touched and just learned so much through my great uncle, through Dr. Katz, and it's really, really special.
Now, this was a really memorable concert in memory of Dr. Katz, your uncle who started the orchestra. So what was it like being part of this tonight?
Well, tonight was especially emotional, Jennifer. Tonight was the tribute concert to my uncle who founded one of the oldest young people's symphonies in the nation. He began this in 1937, and through 72 anniversaries, he was at every one. Conducted the orchestra into the 72nd season. This was our 73rd anniversary. It's the first one without him. So yes, it was a very special evening and a very moving evening.
It definitely came across to the audience for, I think, everyone who knew Dr. Katz and even those who didn't. And what was it like having such an array of talent join you on the stage and offer their memories and their experiences?
Well, my uncle had a lot of friends in the entertainment industry, and over the years, many of them appeared with us. And when I put the word out that we're doing a tribute concert, as a matter of fact, we can only have so many on the stage. The program can only last so long. But really, it was special. From Edward Asner, Ed appeared with us many years ago, narrated tonight The Impossible Dream. You heard it. Was that a moving piece unto itself?
Really,
and people like Pat Boone, who's an honorary member of the orchestra, to people like Stefanie Powers, June Lockhart, Connie Stevens appeared with us many, many times. And of course, Dick Van Dyke. What a performance. Tonight we had Ashley Brown. Ashley is the original Broadway lead in Mary Poppins. And this was touching for me to conduct the Feed the Birds from Mary Poppins with Ashley singing. Whoa, was that just beautiful.
It's true, just one after another. It was just straight to the heart. What's it like for you to step into this legacy of an orchestra that has affected so many lives of so many young people over just decades?
Well, it's part of my life. I grew up in the family. We were a close family. And my uncle actually is my godfather, was my godfather too. So we're very close. From the time my first memories, the first thing I can remember was being around the orchestra. I used to sit in on rehearsals maybe when I was 2-3 years old, and I was told I was even sitting in the back conducting at those days. It was kind of fun because it's something I always liked, and I was concertmaster of the orchestra for many years. I joined when I was 13 years old and never left.